Please adhere to YouTube selected guidelines before viewing the content of this video. I do not encourage or condone any products, actions, or behaviors shown in this video. All videos are produced in a safe, professional, and controlled environment. Please do not attempt to replicate any actions performed during video. All actions are performed by professionals.
Alrighty, so today I'm going to be smoking a cigarette while telling a story, but the story is a complete lie. But why? Well, first off, because I think this is a funny thing to do. And second off, because I want to smoke a cigarette. And that's really all there is to it, in all honesty. That's why I am making this video today. But what story am I actually going to be telling y'all? Well, today I'm going to be telling the story of how I got this scar right here on my cheek. How did I get this scar? Well, y'all are going to be finding out from the story I'm going to be telling y'all during this video today. But I can't actually tell the story if I don't get one of my American Spirit black cigarettes from the United States all lit up first off, though. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get this pack all opened up. Let's go ahead and get one of the cigarettes inside the pack all out. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get my lighter out of my pocket as well, if I can grab it. And now that I have my lighter out of my pocket, without further ado, let's go ahead and get this cigarette all lit up. And let's go ahead and get to telling the story of how I got this scar on my cheek right here. But without further ado, let's go and get this all lit up. And let's go ahead and get to smoking. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying. So first off, let me go ahead and set the scene. I am, in this story, 4 years old, and I'm in preschool. And at the preschool I went to, there was a lot of outside time. They would encourage kids to go play in like sand pits and just go run around, play tag and stuff like that kind of thing. There was a lot of stuff they were doing inside as well, trying to be educational, learning math, learning writing and stuff like that kind of thing as well. But they really did encourage kids to go outside and play a lot. And at the preschool I was at, there were teachers outside, but there wasn't a fence. I'm not exactly sure why they didn't have a fence. It seems like a good idea for a preschool to have a fence around the play area, but it wasn't really a big deal by any means. There were just some woods kind of at the back of the preschool. And one day, while I'm playing outside with friends, I'm playing hide and seek. And so I go past where we're supposed to be to play and everything like that, and I go into the woods to hide. And I'm hiding for probably 5-10 minutes, and I'm like, nobody's finding me. What is going on? Like, nobody's come out here to try to figure out where I am kind of thing. Like, what is going on? And I look towards the preschool, and I can see it kind of in the distance. I went a bit further than I realized at that time, I'll acknowledge. But I see it, and I see my friends at the time kind of looking around for me and trying to find me, and I'm like, okay, this is a pretty good spot. They haven't found me yet. So I kind of go back behind the tree, make sure I am hiding and everything like that. I'm just hiding behind a tree. It's not a really good hiding spot. It's just that they hadn't located where I was at that time. But if they figured out where I was, it would have been pretty easy to spot me, in all honesty. Even from a distance, like the distance I was from them. But then I start hearing rustling on the leaves. And I look around, I'm like, oh, there's a squirrel rustling on the leaves or something like that. So I'm looking around and I'm like, what is going on? And kind of heavy rustling. Like there's kind of like a lot of weight behind the footprints. And I'm like, is there somebody back here? Is somebody about to find me kind of thing? I'm like, what is going on? And honestly, in that instant, I thought I was about to get in trouble. I wasn't really supposed to go past the boundaries of where I was supposed to be. But I was past the boundaries. I thought I was going to get in trouble. I thought I was going to go in timeout at that time. So I was like, what is going on? Where is this person? I need to hide kind of thing. And so I'm looking around and I'm looking around, and then I see what's making the noise. And what's making the noise, it isn't one of my friends. It isn't one of the teachers or like preschool assistants or anything like that kind of thing. It's instead an animal, and it's a pretty big animal. To be precise, it's probably the largest brown bear I have ever seen in real life or in video or photos. This thing must have been like, I don't even know how many pounds. It was huge. And I was just like, oh my God, I live in the South. Why is there a brown bear here? And I froze up. But at some point, in me freezing up, my weight shifts. And under me, some leaves crinkle. Whew, I need a cigarette. Man, telling the story, I'm like, this story, it got my adrenaline going. And just revisiting in my head, the adrenaline starts going again. I mean, like, it's been about 20 years since this happened. But it's still fixated in my mind. The adrenaline is massive. Even now today, as I'm telling this story to y'all. But as said, I was pretty much frozen up. But when I froze up, my weight sort of shifted and the leaves crinkle. And I'm staring down the bear. I'm looking at the bear. And the bear hears me and it looks right at me. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. There's a bear right here. I am so dead. I'm nowhere near any of my friends. Nobody can call for help. If I call for help, nobody is probably gonna come because they're not gonna know where I am. Like, maybe they'll hear me, but I was pretty far away. So I was like, okay, what can I do? I could try to climb the tree, but I break eye contact with the bear and I look up and it's a pine tree. And it's like a really tall pine tree. And I'm like, I don't know if I can climb that kind of thing. There's no really, really good climbable trees around me. Now, I knew this when I was in preschool. Black bears can climb trees. Brown bears, I think, if I remember correctly, and I thought this at that time, I don't believe they can climb trees as well because they're just so big. So I was like, okay, climbing a tree I think is my best option, but there were really no climbable trees around. So I'm just kind of standing there and I'm like, what can I do? And the bear is still looking at me. I'm looking at the trees. I look back at the bear. It's still looking at me. And then I hear the leaves on the ground crinkle again. It's not me, it's the bear. And it starts coming towards me. And it's probably, I'd have to say, 20 feet away. Like, pretty close. Like, that's way closer than anybody would want to be to a brown bear. And it's coming at me slowly. And I do something really bad at this time. I react fast. I move quickly. And I kind of go like, whew, off to the side kind of thing. Like, I'm just kind of moving. I'm getting my back off the tree so I can run. I don't think I can outrun a brown bear now. And I was very sure I couldn't outrun a brown bear then. But I figured that was my best chance at survival. So I make the bad move of moving really quickly. And the brown bear stops. It looks at me intently. It's staring me down. We lock eyes. And I can see in the eyes of the brown bear the undying urge to kill me. And I'm just like, my God, I'm gonna die. This brown bear is set on ending my life. I did nothing to this brown bear. I don't know what's going on. Its babies aren't around here. I wasn't messing with the babies or nothing like that kind of thing. What's going on? But I just see it. And so I just kind of stand there, and I'm kind of in shock. I'm like, I didn't think I was going to die because a bear was going to maul me. I didn't think that was how I was going to go out. When I was in preschool, I was set on... I was set on dying in a nuclear accident. I was actually set on dying because I've smoked so many cigarettes. But no matter how I was set on dying at that time, I know for a fact I was not set on dying by mauling from a bear. Just doesn't sound like a pleasant way to go out. Didn't sound like a pleasant way to go out then, doesn't sound like a pleasant way to go out now. And so I bolt. But for some reason at that time, I thought, I can scare off this brown bear. So I knew I couldn't outrun it. If I turned my back to it, that was a bad idea. If I started running backwards, that would be a bad idea because I'd trip and fall as well. So I bolted at the bear. Bolted at it. And I remembered in that split second that I had a .357 Magnum revolver on me. I don't know why they let me bring a .357 Magnum revolver into preschool, but they did. And so I charged at the brown bear. I'm running. I reach behind. I've got the .357 Magnum hooked to my belt in the back. I whip it out. Just like that. I've got it in my hand. And I'm swinging it around. And I point it at the brown bear as I'm running at it. And the brown bear, it stands up on its hind legs. And before I have the chance to take a shot, the brown bear swings its paw at me, scraping my cheek, just barely. I duck down just a little bit. I duck down. And I'm kind of like doing the whole like sliding on the dirt kind of thing. And it just barely scratches my cheek, just right there. Deep enough to almost go through my cheek, but it could have been my whole face. It was just barely scratching my cheek, which I'm very, very, very thankful that's all it hit, let me tell y'all what. And I'm sliding. It hit me, but I'm sliding, and I go under the bear. It's standing up, and I go under the bear. And I turn around, and I'm probably 2 to 3 feet away from the bear. And I pop a shot off. The recoil, I'm 4 years old. The recoil, boom, all the way like that kind of thing. But little did I know, this bear had training. I don't know where this bear was from, but I'm pretty sure it was some sort of ninja bear or something like that kind of thing. Because the moment I pop off the shot, the bear does like a cartwheel, avoiding the bullet, and the bullet smacks into a tree. Goes right through it, right through another tree, right through another tree, and I could just see the splinters flying everywhere. The sound of the .357 Magnum in my ears are ringing at this point. And the bear's cartwheeling off to the side, and I'm struggling to keep up. But I swing around, and I fire again. Once again, boom. I had to recorrect my shot. It took me a second. But I fired again, boom, up in the air once again. Bear avoids it again. And I'm trying to recorrect my shot again. I fired off 2 shots. Both times, arms go all the way up in the air. And I'm trying to get a third shot going. And I'm basically doing this, where I'm like trying to get it. Because the bear, it's now going back and forth kind of thing. Trying to avoid getting shot. But I just can't quite get the shot lined up before the bear charges me again. And so I do what anybody would do in that scenario. And I run. I dropped the .357 Magnum. Bad choice, but I dropped it. And I run. I run to the closest tree in front of me as soon as I turn around. And I'm running. The bear is right behind me. And I can hear it approaching. It's getting closer, but I'm running as fast as I can run at that time, which is not very fast because I'm 4 years old in the story. I was 4 years old when all this happened. And I run to the tree. And I don't try climbing it. What I do is I put my right leg on the tree, and then my left, and then my right, and then I do a flip around the bear, who is now screeching to a halt in front of the tree. And then I run, and I pick up the .357 Magnum. The bear's like, where'd he go? Which I don't know why the bear was like that. It's a ninja bear, after all, essentially. He's doing cartwheels and stuff. But he's like, where'd he go? So I run back, I grab the 357 Magnum, and the bear's turned around. It's realized where I am right now, but it's charging at me, and now I have the 357 Magnum on my hand. I'm all set, and I pop off a shot once again. I didn't nail the bear right in its head, but I nailed it in the shoulder, and I see it go down, go limp, just like that, lots of pain. And I am looking at the bear, I'm looking in the bear's eyes, and I see the light for wanting to kill me. Not the light of its life, but the light that made it want to kill me fading. The pain kind of woke it up from its anger, I suppose. And it's just kind of sitting there. And I recorrect my shot again. I'm ready to pop off another shot. But I've already fired off 3 shots. I only have 2 left. I don't want to pop off another 2 shots and still not have this bear down. Because if the bear isn't down at that point, well, I'm just out of luck. So I'm just waiting. If it charges at me again, I was ready to shoot. But thankfully I didn't need to. The bear stands up, looks at me. I'm backing up, facing the bear. And the bear turns its side to me and walks kind of horizontally away from me. And I do a loop around and walk back to the preschool. Whew. And that's how I got this scar right here. That's how I got this scar. Yep. I was fighting a bear with a 357 Magnum when I was 4 years old. That's how I got this scar. Very, very, very interesting experience to have as a 4-year-old, to say the least. I am honestly still surprised the preschool allowed me to have a 357 Magnum on campus as a 4-year-old, in all honesty. But I'm very glad that they did, because otherwise I probably wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be able to smoke and do what I'm doing today. So I'm very glad that they did. And that's probably still, even today, the wildest experience I've ever had. I mean, like, I've had some very interesting experiences going into abandoned buildings, getting chased out by police and all that sort of stuff. But the most interesting, dramatic, and exhilarating experience with the most adrenaline I've ever had still has got to be fighting a bear when I was 4 years old. And that is how I got this scar right here. Not a super dramatic end to the story. Once I hit the bear once, it kind of was just like, okay, you know what? This isn't worth my time anymore. But that's the story. That's the story. And it really is pretty wild, to say the least. And I'm glad I'm here today. I'm glad I'm here today. Let me tell you all what. Since that experience, I haven't seen the bear. I haven't seen the bear again. The next year, I wasn't at that preschool anymore because I was 4 years old. I went to kindergarten. But I've never seen the bear again. I've never heard any reports of a ninja bear with a messed up, I think it was facing me. It would have been left shoulder, yeah. So I hit it with a messed up left front shoulder. Haven't heard any reports of that happening. I haven't heard any reports of that bear. I don't even know if it's still around. I hope it ain't looking for revenge. But if it is looking for revenge, y'all already know I keep that 357 Magnum on me. It's always better to say safe than sorry. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But, you know, that's the story of how I got this scar right here. That's the story. That story, of course, 100% the truth. Of course, of course. Overall, I really enjoyed telling the story today, and I didn't enjoy smoking an American Spirit Black today as well. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of that story, of my experience of fighting a bear when I was 4 years old. It was wild. Wild experience. Let me tell... excuse me. I got more jaw jumbled up. It was a wild experience, and let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought of the story and what you would have personally done in that experience if you were there instead of I. But, yeah, I certainly hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video where I smoked a cigarette while telling a story, but the story is not true at all. Certainly hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video today. If you guys have enjoyed watching this video, of course, please make sure to like and subscribe for more content. I have my Instagram, my book, my merch, my P.O. box, and my second channel, all in the description down below. Go check it all out. Thank you so much for watching this video, y'all. Till the next one, stay safe and peace, and have a great one. Yes, sir, and I'm saying.